Hello and welcome to Deep Blue Sea, the podcast. I am Mark Facehugger Ambush Hoffmeyer.
And I am Jay Secret Robot Fluid, welcoming you aboard Deep Blue
I
Sea, the
knew it. I've
podcast.
always known it.
I don't hide it very well, to be honest. It's very much
We
on
have
the
white
surface.
juice flowing out of your head right now. So a clear viscous liquid
Yeah, yeah.
seeping out of your ears. So that was a giveaway.
It's. I leave a lot of cleanup everywhere I go. It takes a lot of. I make no apologies. Anyway, this is Deep Blue Sea, the podcast. On this show, Mark and I have been through the entire Deep Blue Sea trilogy, scene by scene, now looking at some Deep Blue Sea adjacent films. This films featuring aquatic action, sharks, or directed by Rennie Harlan, or Deep Blue scenes, as is the case with this week's episode, where we're looking at the Deep Blue Sea adjacent scenes from other big films or franchises. And today's Alien Resurrection, which features a sequence in which giant killer super smart monsters herd some people around a ship into an underwater kitchen, leading to a big ladder they've got to climb up. And there's a lady with a secret. And there's a bunch of stuff that's deeply suggested in this sequence. But yeah, this is Alien Resurrection, which, Mark, you originally suggested we cover this at some point. I hadn't even considered this as being a deeply adjacent film scene at all. But why did you want to bring this one up? Why are we talking about this today?
Underwater kitchen fight.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, it's Deep Blue Sea has a half submerged kitchen fight. This one has an underwater, fully submerged kitchen fight. And you know what's funny? We've talked about this before. I did a commentary with Out Now with Aaron and Abe for this movie, but it wasn't until watching it for this episode where I went, man, this is Deep Blue Sea.
Yeah.
Like, this is the ladder scene. The shark just misses, the xenomorph just misses, like the deaths, the sacrifices, it's very Deep Blue Sea adjacent.
We this could have been considered a Deep Blue Sea adjacent film entirely because there's questionable science being done that's probably against some kind of convention.
Secrets.
There's Winona Ryder's like praying at one point, like preacher. But I'm very glad we're not doing it as Deep Blue Sea adjacent because I have no idea how I would tackle how deep this film is. It's a spaceship in space. It's like, well, I don't know. From where? They're heading towards Earth. So it would just be the least deep film ever, I guess.
Because they call it Deep Space Nine. So, like, are you deep in space?
Well, I mean, I pitched that for when Nick was on once. There's like a reappraisal of Godzilla vs. Biollante because that ends with the credits in space. Should that be considered deep space? And you and he both kind of voted that down, which I was fine with when I didn't have just a graph. We could be considered deep space, but then from where? Where does deep space start?
There's so much of it.
So this is why I'm glad we're just doing a scene and not a whole dang film because I couldn't do that.
This is Jean-Pierre Jeunet. This is the dude who did Delicatessen,
Amelie.
City of Lost Children, like Amelie after this. Like, this is, you watch this movie, and then I was also paying attention to the score, which, I mean, by John Frizzell. Like, you know what's interesting? When he got pitched to do the job for this, John Frizzell, he sent the score over to Jean-Pierre, and Jean-Pierre's like, how'd you get the script of my movie? This is unacceptable. You should not. And he goes, I didn't get the script of your movie. I just made this. And Jean-Pierre's like, oh, well, this matches my script perfectly, so let's do it. And it's just a bunch of discordant beats at points and just him and banging on stuff. But I love this underwater scene. And, I was looking at this, like the scores for Alien Resurrection, and it has a 53%, which I was really surprised by, but it also has a 39% audience score. And then the box office, I mean, it made 160 million worldwide. That's more than Alien 3. And it only had a $60 million budget. So I think a lot of people really crap on this movie, but I recommend you watch it on mute. And so you don't have to listen to Joss Whedon's dialogue and just enjoy the visuals. Like, I don't care about the ring lights. Who gives a shit? It's I don't know. I dig the vibe of it. And this underwater brawl is fun. It's well explained as a ladder scene. It's everything I love.
I don't hate this film. I saw it for the first time like 3 years ago. I think I must have like sort of DVD or somewhere. I've got the Alien quadrilogy, as I think everyone of our age.
Everyone had it.
Quadrilogy. Yeah, it's not a word.
Who didn't have it?
It always existed. Everyone had it, but quadrilogy, not a word, not a thing. Tetralogy is what they want. But anyway, So I think I must have like checked on background then, but I watched it properly 3 years ago and really I liked it. I didn't like Alien 3 that much. Alien Cubed is kind of dull. I think it's just running down corridors. But Alien Resurrection
A lot of
is
corridors.
the kind of thing I like, whereas a small group of people get killed off one by one with aliens chasing them. Great, love that kind of thing. Yes, the dialogue is terrible. Yes, everyone in this film is an asshole. There's, I
Yeah.
just hate everyone every second they're on screen.
That's
That's
why the underwater stuff works well because none of them are talking.
can't hear him talk. Yeah, some of like Ron Perlman's dialogue, my word, is atrocious, and I can't repeat any of it here because I'll be bleeping most of it. Is unfortunate. um,
And
uh,
in,
but
in, in oh, sorry, go for it.
No, this scene's great because, as you say, there's no dialogue, but you get a lot of great underwater acting. Like I enjoy Dominic Pignon, the guy Vries, who's the guy being carried
He's great.
by Gary.
Don't do the
Uh,
backstroke.
yeah, don't do that. Yeah, that's nice. And then like he's got the big puffed out cheeks. He's being dragged along, and then when he's up on the ladder, the grip strength he must have to hold
Ah!
himself and the other guy and the alien. And then like have to pull himself back up after carrying those guys for like 20 minutes is incredible. Uh, but and Ron Perlman taking out an alien with his first underwater shot. He
Oh,
gets a round off and yeah, misses the first one, but hits the one behind it.
I mean, that's
Uh,
the only way you're going to hit him underwater, right? Like, I love
yeah.
how they plan that because the only way they're going to get hit, right, is if the xenomorph behind the xenomorph is like, what?
Wait a minute, hey, ew, get back here.
Like that xenomorph could have just pushed the bullet another direction, but then the other did he just let it pop? But that explosion's cool though, Jay. When it
Yeah.
blows up that thing underwater, oh, it
There,
looks so
there are
cool.
some very cool explosions in this film. Like when they get the eggs, that's a pretty cool one as well. And
Yeah, so
when
many explosions.
Dan Hedaya's in this film. Dan Hedaya's in a
It's
different film to everyone
horrible.
else.
Yeah, he
Uh,
is.
he's in a comedy, and I really enjoy Dan Hedaya. I'm going through Cheers at the moment, and I didn't realize that he played Carla's ex-husband in Cheers in like loads of episodes. He looks the same. He's always looked the same. He's always just looked greasy, but I really love him. And when he explodes the ship that's getting away with the alien in it, there's loads of explosions in this film. It's great. But this is a really fun scene, and we hadn't seen these aliens swimming before. I guarantee these like characters thought we'll go underwater, it'll be fine, and then like wait, these guys can swim? No way.
And it makes sense when you look at them, right? Like they're perfect alien species. Like they were created to be perfect killing machines.
Yeah,
And in the water, they
Enneagram.
just like they look like stupid, deadly submarines,
Sure. I want to see them in different
right?
environments.
Don't they?
Like
Like they're
we
just oh.
haven't seen them in the snow. What do these guys do in snow? How would that work?
I
That's,
mean, they could do it.
yeah,
Now you
let's
got
run
me
it.
wanting to watch the Tomorrow War again and watch one of them get hit by a snowmobile.
Sure, yeah.
It'd be incredible. Dude, but like also Darius Kanji shot this movie. This dude did Delicatessen, City of Lost Children. He shot Seven. I mean, this guy did The Beach, Panic Room. I mean, The Ruins. I need to watch that again because like, he shot The Ruins, but he also
He,
did The
he,
Immigrant. Like
he loves filming
Iraq.
Leland Orser in terrible situations.
Yeah.
From this and Seven.
And but like he shot The Lost City of Z, Okja, Uncut Gems, Armageddon Time. Like this guy works with James Gray, and I think The Immigrant's one of the best shot movies of when it came out 2013. So yeah, the last 10 years. Like Lost City of Z is gorgeous. Like even the French films he shot before this were gorgeous. So this is a weird one, Jay. Like you have Darius Kanji, you have the guy who directed Delicatessen
Yeah.
and The City of Lost Children. You have a basketball playing Ripley. You have Ron Perlman headshotting aliens while upside down on a ladder.
You got Winona Ryder in this kind of weird lost period of her career.
Yeah, like why? Like Dan Hedaya's in another movie, and then you just get a kitchen fight that's
You know,
underwater with swimming xenomorphs.
Brad
And
Dourif, Michael Wincott. It's
oh
such
man,
a bizarre cast.
I got a little bit worried while rewatching this movie because I'm like, are we going to do all the slimy scenes with xenomorphs?
No.
Because they're the juiciest. These are by far, Jay, the juiciest xenomorphs. Like the one in the first one's got some juice, but these things are just dripping with goo. They exude goo. Have you have you seen a gooier alien?
I mean, there's some pretty. It's pretty gooey in the first one. Is it? I think we're introduced to the slime. But
Yeah.
this is. I mean, there's more. There's a lot of aliens in this one, and they're all slimy. So I think this might be the gooeyest.
I mean, if you think about it, right, that would be that would be a natural kind of evolution of nature's finest predator. So let's say you're a burly, strong person with thick skin who can't get bit by the aliens. If you
Sure.
try the xenomorphs, if you try to wrestle with one of them, it's just going to squeeze out of your arms. You're just going to get
It's
in a bear hug and it's going to go because it's
it's
all jellied up.
it's like Tom Hardy in Bronson. Was it
Yeah,
Bronson
Bronson
when he
when he
greased
loads himself
himself?
up. Yeah, and like Transporter with Jason Statham. Like
Yeah.
it's like you're like you're this guy and you're like their acid can't hurt me. Their little heads inside their heads can't hurt me. Their tails can't hurt me. Their claws can't hurt me. And then it just flies out of your arms like 30 feet in the air. Just because oh no, I didn't anticipate that. And then it's
And
gone.
the acid shot that the one on the ladder has
Oh,
into the guy's face, which that's an incredible shot, given that the alien is below him, and between the alien and him is Dominic Pignon. So he manages to get a shot up and around one guy into the face of another one.
oh
It's an
man.
incredible shot.
I
That's
mean, listen, their
that's
nature's
a end of
perfect.
Con Air kind of thing with the on the ladder. It's that kind of a shot, like getting up and around and into the leg.
Oh, what's a better shot? What's a better ladder shot, Jay?
Uh, I hadn't actually realized they were both on ladders. I think this is a better ladder shot because the one in Con Air is implausible. Cannot happen. Whereas this one, I feel like that this is using like alien physics, which must exist. So
And I know that in this scene that Hillard she gets killed and she doesn't have much of a character, but
that's all right.
okay,
No one mourns her either, so it's
yeah,
fine.
yeah, who? But just imagine this, Jay. All right. First and foremost, I love the build up to this scene because we're on this is all I need for movies. These are the cooling tanks. They must have been flooded. Oh,
Must
we're on
be
the
a leak
bottom of
somewhere.
yeah, we're on the
Yeah,
bottom of the ship and we need to swim 90 feet to the staircase on the other side. And you're like, oh, okay, cool. Like, and of course they
done.
got to explain it because no one else knows. So that's my favorite writing when it's not like, hey, butt face, you're a scumbag, SO, just something horrible
Yeah,
by
yeah.
Ron Perlman's mouth. But they explain it. So when they're swimming, you're like, okay, I know where they're going. And then they're trapped, which is incredible. But when she's swimming and that xenomorph grabs her foot and then just drags her away while you're underwater, just drowning and being dragged by a xenomorph,
Yeah.
there's not much worse.
She really sells the how difficult it is to swim because she's like fully clothed with these big boots on and she's got this giant gun strapped around her and she's really selling the awkward
Yeah.
swimming. It's a good job. It's Kim Flowers is the actress.
And
Uh,
it's they all were down there and they all trained for this. Like they trained for this. It's very clean water though, Jay.
well, it's from the cooling system, like so.
But that kitchen's spotless. There'd be grease.
Yeah, there would. It's all sticking to the aliens, all adding to the goo.
It's like the water in Apocalypto. They're in a bottom of a pit, but it's crystal clear because they filmed it in a stage and they don't want to get mud on children. But yeah, it's a random poll.
Sure.
But it's so yeah. You never think about that, Jay?
I mean, I haven't thought about Apocalypto since I saw it, which was a
Yeah, I
while
hadn't
ago.
either. One of my students brought it up and was like, we were talking about production design, and they're like, watch this scene. So when I put it on, I'm like, why is that water so clean? You know, in Resident Evil 4,
No,
which is
do
a
not.
beautiful movie, there's an underwater scene where they're swimming, but it's all murky because the paint they used made it murky. Paul W. S.
Okay.
Anderson didn't want it to be murky, but
Oh.
because of the paint that they used, it was. So it worked to his advantage for murky water. Just want to put that out there, Jay.
Nice. Yeah, I had considered. I feel like the Resident Evil films could be deeply sea distant enough. There's like enough in there. There's
Yeah.
not really a lot of water in there, but I feel like we could do a series on that.
Jay, that's my wheelhouse, man. I did it on MFF, and that's like one of my favorite series ever.
I've only seen the first one, so.
Oh, they're a delight.
And
Okay,
I've seen the laser grid scene in the first one 1,000 times.
yeah, because it has a laser grid with a sense of humor.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So 1 is good. 2 is very. 2's okay. 3 better, but still. 4 is when Paul W. S. Anderson comes back and uses James Cameron's Avatar rig, and there's like slow motion bathroom fights with toilets that have exploding water that makes it look like it's raining.
Okay.
The fifth
Is
one just
that the
goes,
Pyramid Head fight? Is that the fourth one?
yeah, yeah.
I think I've seen that scene. Yeah.
And then the fifth one goes to Bonkers Town. It goes to Antarctica.
Oh, okay. Sure.
And then the sixth one's, it's fine.
Okay. Maybe we'll cover them at some point. Who knows? We'll
Yeah, yeah.
see how long
Well,
this
watch them
podcast
first.
goes for.
Watch them first. Yeah, watch them and then, yeah, let me know. Because I don't
We'll
want you
find
stuck
out
in
the
a thing.
deepest, bluest Resident Evil film.
It's made my day. But listen, like, I don't know. This is a really good looking movie. And I don't know why they kept the ring lights in the people's eyes. Because it's like, hey, there's a ring light in their eye. But, and I'm not just saying that because other people say it. Like, you notice it. But I think this movie gets maligned a little bit unfairly. No, fairly, because of the dialogue and the characters. But like I said, if he's watching on mute, because that's what I did when I recorded the Out Now with Aaron and A podcast. I just watched it with the subtitles on, and I just watched the movie. I was like, this looks great.
It does. I mean, that all of Junet's films they have like a visual style to them. This is maybe the least Junet-like looking film because it's in a franchise. It's the fourth Alien film, but he's still like the opening credits are just super weird with like the malformed clone creature and like a face appearing. It's they're weird opening credits. But I do like Junet as a director. He seems to have lost it a little bit in recent years, but Amelie is one of my favorite films growing up.
Like you can't like it's like any athlete or any. He threw heaters for like 15 years.
Yeah.
So it's kind of hard to keep doing that. Does that make like the visual style that he had, the whimsy that he had with Delicatessen and the like, Lost City of Children and Amelie, like that doesn't work 15 years later and you're trying to recreate that. Does that make sense?
No. And like, A Very Long Engagement is a very different film from those other ones.
Yeah.
It's still an excellent film.
Mm-hmm.
And then Mick Max is fine. I haven't seen his previous ones too. But maybe I should give them a shot.
A lot of bug killing in this movie.
Sure. Yeah, I do like when Ron Clements sees the spider. That's been just after he's been hanging upside down and shooting through his friends.
Oh man, all I ask from a movie, Jay, is just like try. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Just give me something that I'll go, oh, they tried there, or they're trying something different, or
exactly. Yeah, something new. Yeah.
This shot could have looked like any other shot, but instead you chose to just bomb ring lights in people's faces and have them reflect in someone's eyeballs, or just this movie gives me enough of that to make it worthwhile.
I'll be honest, the ring lights didn't bother me. I didn't.
No.
I don't know if that's just something I'm not used to seeing, so it didn't speak out at me, or it's because I was watching this on a phone. I don't know, but it didn't stand out for me. I mean, they were teeny tiny, like pixels.
Yeah. Wait, and this is 97, so we did Con Air the podcast. This is another bad trip movie.
Very much so, yes. Yeah. This is another like seemingly smart people making stupid decisions kind of film. This is another Lost World kind of thing. Where, hey, there's aliens that are horrible things. Let's make more of them. Let's clone them. That won't go wrong. It's like, okay, sure. I guess you had to get them back somehow.
And then the prisoners escape.
Yeah, but no contingency plans.
How amazing though is it when there's the 3 xenomorphs and they just decide to light up the other one with the acid blood to escape?
Yeah,
like that's a cool scene.
I feel. Did they need to kill the other one to? Could they not just like cut off an arm and just like use that? Would that not be enough acid?
I mean, it wouldn't be a perfect killing thing anymore if it had a hole in its side. It'd be a little affected. It'd be leaking everywhere. They could trace it.
Maybe a perfect killing machine can regrow its arm. Maybe it has regrowing powers. It's Wolverine.
I mean, think about it. As soon as they pop from people's stomachs, in some of these movies, they're adults, fully grown adults in a day. You know how much growth that is?
A lot. That's a lot of calories. So where does this sit in your alien ranking?
Oh wow.
Are you an Alien or an Aliens guy?
I mean, it's just Alien for me, man. Yeah, it's the mood. I mean, the visuals, right? Like the space jockey, the initial chest burster
Yeah.
scene, and listen, I think Aliens is beautiful, and I mean, like, uh, I mean, I love the characters in Aliens. Like, I love Vasquez. I love, Hawk. Like, I think maybe I like more the characters in Aliens, and Paul. But you know what? I like Paul Reiser, man. I get so tired. I don't even like watching Aliens sometimes because I'm like, just get this dude off this. I'm tired of Paul
It,
Reiser in that movie.
it kind of makes sense for Ian Holm to be like a bad guy in Alien because he's a robot. He's
Yeah,
programmed to be a bad guy. Everyone else is just trying to get things done. But Paul Reiser's just a dick.
exactly. And that makes it kind of a slog. I mean, I love the final fight with the Queen. But no. So I'm gonna go Aliens. This is tough. Okay, I'll say, geez Louise, because after this, they all feature something I like. Well, Requiem's last, dead last. I don't even want to talk about it. Let's not even talk about the AVP ones. Let's just talk about strictly
Oh,
Alien
hang on.
movies.
AVP is fun. The
Oh yeah,
first
it's
one's
fun,
fun.
but I don't want
But
to talk
that's,
about
yeah,
Requiem.
sure.
AVP's cool, man. It's Paul W.S. Anderson, my man, Resident
Requiem,
Evil.
Requiem's not a film. It's
No,
awful.
it really isn't. But like AVP, he got it. He knew what he was doing. There's great. The fake snow is mashed potatoes. Looks great.
Yeah.
Sanaa Latham's good. All right, so I'm gonna go. Oh, this sucks because I could pick any of these for number three. Jay, what's your rating? Why ranking?
Aliens. Yeah, I think I might put Resurrection third. I do enjoy the deaths. There's another cryogenic freezing death just for like mind hunters.
Yeah.
There's a lot of fun death and sequences in there. Uh, hmm, then I'm probably gonna go Prometheus, Covenant Cubed. Oh, where's the AVP is probably gonna sit between Resurrection and Prometheus probably.
I could watch AVP every day of the week. Like
Yeah.
that'd be weird, but I could do it. Um,
I
so
went to
for just
the cast and crew screening of Prometheus because
Ooh,
a friend of mine did the lighting and couldn't make it, so he gave tickets to me and another friend.
oh,
So we like got out of work early and drove up to London to watch the cast and crew screening of Prometheus, where none of the cast were there.
oh no,
I was like, oh, I'm going to sit next to Charlize Theron, and I was not.
that's a
It was still
classic
fun.
casting.
It
That's
was
a
still fun.
casting crew for sure.
Yeah.
Uh, okay, Aliens, but it's good on the good. Okay, shoot, because there's stuff I like and don't like. Like Prometheus, there's so many dumb choices.
Yep.
Like not even when people are like that's dumb. It's like are you saying how you would fight Jason Voorhees? Like he would just kill you. Like you wouldn't spin kick him. But like people do legitimately dumb things in Prometheus. But
Yeah.
when we were finished with it, Megan and I we went to this restaurant and we just had margaritas for margaritas with Grand Marnier floaters, and and then we just talked about Prometheus for an hour and a half, trying to figure out the timeline and like what is
Yeah.
it? Who is it? Like are they trying to destroy Earth because of Jesus Christ? Who created Earth? Like what is this? What's the Christianity angle? Like what? Like we
We had
really
the
got
same
into
thing.
it.
Yeah.
Right? Oh, really?
Me and Marcos just spent a 2 hour car journey back just digging into it. It was great. We did record it to try and make it like a podcast, but the audio didn't survive. But it was a fun conversation. So,
All right.
but yeah, there are some stupid like, hey, I'm gonna poke this thing that's trying to kill me. I'm gonna take my helmet off in untested air. Okay, you're all idiots? Stop it.
Yeah.
Do better. But
And yeah, do better. Do better. And Covenant has the same thing too, where it's like, hey, Billy Crudup, look into this thing. Come over here. Look into it. And there's the guy who's like, I gotta go take a piss. But Fassbender's really good in it. And it's
yes,
pretty
yes,
mean.
yes.
And there's some really interesting xenomorphs. Alien 3 I watched when I was younger, Alien Cubed. I love that you call it that. I I like love it because when I watched it when I was younger, I just remember the alien's hand coming through the ceiling and grabbing that guy and like ripping him away. I remember Charles S. Dutton sacrificing himself. I remember the scene where the xenomorph gets up in Ripley's face. I was like, this is amazing. I think watching Resurrection again, it looks beautiful. So, shoot, I'm gonna go Aliens, AVP, and then Prometheus, Alien 3, Covenant, Resurrection, and Requiem. But I like all the ones up to Requiem.
Yeah, sure.
That was the longest I've ever taken to do any like that was hard, Jay.
It's because it matters.
This hurt.
I'm sorry.
Today I didn't know going into
you,
this. Today going into this, I didn't know that would happen to me. But yeah, so what's your favorite moment of the underwater battle? Like what do you like?
Uh, it's I mean, Ron Perlman getting the shot off is pretty cool. Like just when he shoots, I feel like, wait, is this going in slow motion or is this just the bullet in the water? And I'm still not sure whether like he's in slow motion or whether it's just the water drag. But I think just the fact that it's going so slowly, I'm not sure. I like that. It's cool. What about you? You got a
Yeah,
favorite
the explosion.
Yeah,
Just it looks great.
and it's a really nice set as well. They've kind of flooded here and all of the debris on the floor, the kitchen stuff it looks pretty cool.
Well, your
They
man
did a good
Nigel
job.
Phelps from Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Men Tell No Tales, which have you covered yet?
Not yet. That's the next one. Nick and
Yep.
I have not recorded the fifth one yet.
He is
So
the production designer.
as yet, I do not remember anything from that film. So I've seen it before, but I cannot recall a single thing.
Zombie
Uh,
sharks.
So yes, I hear there are zombie sharks. I'm looking forward to meeting them. And Kaya Scodelario. Kaya Scodelario is in there.
Classic.
So that's it. So we've got that coming up soon.
This is fun. I'm glad we did this.
Me too.
This was a nice palate cleanser. This scene was fun to watch. I enjoyed being back in the headspace of this world. So I dig it.
This
I
is
dig it.
our October episode. So it's kind of our horror scene, kind of. Like it's more sci-fi, but there's horror in it. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, like this is where it gets interesting, right? With rankings, where people are like, it's a sci-fi movie, but yeah, but it's about aliens murdering people on a ship, like that you can't leave, and you're just getting slaughtered. Like that's horror.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's horror.
I mean, we've had the debate as to whether is Jaws a horror film on here, and yes, it is.
Yeah.
Because there's horror elements to it. Like, yeah, it's an adventure film, sure. It's a creature feature, but there's horror elements, so it's in the horror category. It's not a
Is there-
slight against the film, you know.
Yeah,
It's no offense.
I mean-
It's horror.
I'm sorry, guys. Like the horror genre has only been carrying Hollywood and like worldwide cinema for
Since the
I don't know.
30s.
Yeah, since like the 20s,
more than
right?
that,
With
yeah, the 20s.
Nosferatu and Cabinet of Dr.
Dr.
Caligari.
yeah.
Yeah, like the whole thing of horror being a B genre, but then Smile goes and makes 300 million, and the theaters are like, "Thank God for Smile." It's such a backwards way of looking at it, and I mean, horror is just such a profitable genre that it's just so annoying that it's looked at as a B genre when it's making bank for the studios.
Do you think that's why it's looked down on? That you can make a $10 million film, a horror film, and it will gross 60 million, kind of guaranteed. Whereas you could make a $10 million drama, and you'd be lucky to make half that.
I mean, that's on you though.
Yeah.
Like
But people go and see it not because of the quality of the film from like the critic's perspective, but from just, hey, it's a horror schloggy thing. Whereas we love these kinds of things. We love Deep Blue Sea.
That's a really good question. But I also think Smile, right? It's a movie with it's based on a short film, and it's just based on a very simple elevator pitch with a very unique visuals, and the cinematography in it was very like centralized. They made sure that like the aspect ratio was 2-1, so the faces looked bigger on screen when they smiled, and it wasn't widescreen. They went Jurassic Park, Steven Spielberg.
Yeah.
They really did a good job with the jumps,
They had a
scares.
fun advertising campaign with the people on TV just smiling behind reporters and things.
Yeah. And listen, there's an art to it, man. Like none of these, like all these Marvel movies follow patterns. So like all these, it's so. I mean, I don't think I have too many horror movies on the top 10 of my yearly list, but I think you got to admire when one hits.
Yeah, we both had Barbarian pretty high last year on our lists. Yeah.
It was incredible.
Yeah, it's great fun.
I mean, so
Pretty deep as well, often underground.
We need to do that. We need to talk about that. I haven't covered that on the show yet,
Yeah.
but it's I don't like it. Like I think there's an art, but I mean, look at all the praise Carpenter gets. Look at all the praise Jordan Peele gets. Look at all the praise that George Romero has. Even going back in the day with Murnau
Hmm.
and Browning, like Fields. Like uh,
Wow.
I hate saying I'm not gonna say his name. He was from the '70s or late '60s, and he directed some horror films. I mean, but then you got the Italian masters. You have just I don't know. I think it's such a backward system, Jay. I hate it.
Well, I just be grateful that there is a kind of a cult following. There are legions of fans out there, which I'm sure they'd like the critical acclaim as well. But just knowing that there's so many people out there who adore all of these horror films might be enough for some of these directors.
Yeah.
I hope.
But I mean, look at Eggers, look at Astor. Like they're doing pretty good.
Yeah.
And
Uh,
what Julia Ducournau, French, Titan, and Raw. Those are works of art.
I haven't seen them. Uh,
You got me
I hate
going,
good
man.
things, but yeah, I don't have a lot of time to watch horror films. It's a problem. Uh,
Yeah, it's true. I tried to watch The Pope's Exorcist at night the other night, and I was like, nah,
I
done
hear
enough.
that film is terrible, so I haven't
Okay,
even considered watching it.
it works because Russell Crowe, like he's so loose in it.
Sure.
And then Jay, it went places, and I just kept going, what? And then it would go to another place. I was like, what?
Okay.
And then it said something, and I was like, what? So I wasn't trying to be like Little John, but it definitely has an element to it that if you know nothing about it and you watch it, you're like, this has been a journey.
How would it compare to last week's film, Exorcist: The Beginning? Where would it stack up against that?
I mean, I mean, it's not. It's. I would watch that instead of Exorcist: The Beginning.
Okay, me
Yeah,
too. And I haven't seen it. I've seen Exorcist: The Beginning twice now.
but
That's
I mean,
enough.
listen, it's just. Uh, I don't think I can say it was, but it's getting a sequel. It somehow hits this. The dude from Green Knights, the voice of the demon, the guy with the raspy voice, who's in everything, and it's just. uh, I was pleasant. I was happy with it, but I also was like working when I was watching it too.
Right.
So
Okay.
yeah,
I'll wait till it's streaming.
yeah, fair enough.
Who's the guy from the Green Knight and everything? Oh, Ralph Ineson. Yeah, I love Ralph Ineson.
He's in
He's
everything.
he's got a great voice.
Ugh. I'm the Green Knight. No,
He's a Guardians of the
you try it.
Galaxy.
You
Uh,
can do it.
um, he's more northern than me. Oh, he's Yorkshire, isn't he? I just can't think of. I haven't seen like the Witch that he. I haven't seen most of his films. I'm trying to think what he sounds like, or anything he's ever said. So I'm the Green Knight. Like I just everything's just Statham. So no, I'm not. I can't do anything. I just everything just turns to Statham at the moment.
We need a
Uh,
Green Knight cut with Statham.
Absolutely, yes, 100%. So I feel like that's the end of this podcast episode. We've gone a long way away from Alien Resurrection. So Mark, what have you got to plug?
Oh, yeah, just movie Sons of Flakes. You're gonna come on and do that Twister episode and Kitchen Fight
Yes,
episode sometime,
sometime.
and then this podcast, and then my stuff on Ringer, and I got 2 Rotten Tomatoes articles coming out. I got a couple new episodes on fandom coming out. I got a film theory. Yeah, it's all my regular stuff.
Nice.
But go read
Um,
Ringer. I wrote a John Wick. I ranked 415 kills in the John Wick franchise.
I'm looking forward to watching John Wick 4 and then reading that episode. That
And there's a Mindhunters reference in it.
fantastic. I need to read this immediately. Uh, as for me, Life versus Film is my site. Follow the podcast on all the social media at Deep Blue Sea Pod. Next week, we're abandoning Horror Month to go back to the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise for On Stranger Tides. So we're abandoning horror, but not horrible, for that film. And then the week after, Mark, it's the Deep House. Mark's back for
Yes.
Deep House the week after, which I'm very much looking forward to for the Halloween episode.
It's like an 84-minute movie, and it's
I can't wait.
a breeze.
Outstanding. So that'll do it for Alien Resurrection. I've been Jay Cluett.
Now, Mark Hoffmeyer.
And we'll Deep Blue see you next week. I almost did the Connell.
Yeah, I almost said Psy. I almost said Bayonara. I'm like, what does that mean?